Sorry, I can't really see much because of my camera. I can't really see much, and you know, I'm working with what I have. As you can see, I have my beautiful altar for this Odinstag or Odinstag for my lovely patron over here. Please excuse the messy makeup and the messy hair. I literally just got off of work and I was unable to prepare something a little bit darker for this video. Not really gothing out in a way I am, in a way, I don't know. I did a gray to white eyeshadow and that didn't last very long because I got up way too late. I've been sick. Lipstick was a lot better. Had my Kat Von D on, and then over time just kind of wore and tore, and I kind of went over it with some cheaper stuff just to make sure that it looked decent in this video. And yeah, without further ado, I was asked to do the goth tag, and hopefully I will be able to do this correctly, considering that I'm now in corporate goth gear. Not that dark, but still black. I wore my boots today, dark makeup, my nail polish, everything. The only thing that's missing for me normally is my Victorian gear or my hippie gear, and of course my cyber goth gear. I wanted to go ahead and get through with this tag, seeing as it is something that a lot of people are asking me to do, so let's get started. Question 1. How long have you been goth? Well, I've been considered fashionly goth, fashion-wise, off and on since I was 13. It's hard to say. I've always loved the culture around it, the music such as Skinny Puppy. I've loved, you know, 9 Inch Nails. I was a huge metalhead in high school. I'm still kind of considered metalhead with Disturbed, as well as folk rock, pagan metal, that sort of thing, such as Vikalynn, which is Viking metal. I know that metal is not the same thing as goth, but I still adore the fashion, and off and on. Emotionally and spiritually, I've always been since I was 13. I only started dressing the part when I was more independent, away from my family. I would have said that I was definitely more of a quote-unquote nerdy goth, if you will. If you want to even do the subgenre thing, I don't think goth needs to be under terms, just because it is a subculture all of its own. But if you want to put a label on it, it would be considered nerdy goth. Then when I was getting into college, I started straying away from the dark hoodies, dark jeans, Converse, no makeup, just because I was living with my family during that time. And it's still something that is still kind of seen as different in my family. Like, a lot of them don't agree with it, but, you know, it is what it is. Number 2. How were you introduced to goth? Between friends of mine that were considered scene kids and emo kids, my father, who was really into the gothic wave, when it was in the 80s and 90s, right before I was born, he really wasn't goth, but he did follow the whole pagan thing, so he did listen to, like, people that were part of that scene, if you will. He also decided to, he was more musically inclined to the culture, and he also felt that it was more him to not dress the part, but to listen to the music, to be part of everything. He also adored the Addams Family. Like, there's a joke in my family that, the Addams Family is the Linville family. It's just something that a lot of people don't consider, and my family is a little kooky like that, but that's definitely goth. Definitely, it's family friendly. Also, the fact that I have a few friends who would often comment the whole emo thing, if you want to call it a quote-unquote gateway drug, or the effect of that. My friends got me into the whole emo phase of my life at some point, and tried to go, and I wanted to go back a little bit darker, less of the whole, I hurt myself thing, but more of a passionate of life is sad, but that's okay. Life is dark sometimes, but that's okay. We can write about it. We can find the beauty in the macabre, that sort of thing. I find beauty in the macabre. I find beauty in the darkness. that's also why I feel that it's a good scene for me. Always been into the literature. To be cliche, I love Edgar Allan Poe. He was my favorite author growing up. And J.R.R. Tolkien, but he's not goth. No, he's fantasy. I'm a nerd. So that was the thing. I've always loved the fashion and the ideas just because it just appealed to me. Like, it just seemed natural, if you will. Number 3. What gothic subgenre would you put yourself in? Again, I don't believe subgenres should be a thing. It's because gothic fashion is gothic fashion. No matter if you're dressing for work, if you're dressing for like a concert, if you're going down to the club, if like, it's a subculture in of itself, and I don't think it really needs the labels because it separates and isolates the culture as itself. But I would put myself into a few subgenres if you want to word it that way. I would definitely put myself in the quote-quote hippie goth culture or subgenre, but I also do enjoy the romantic, the Victorian and Edwardian styles as well. But I definitely feel that hippie does hit me more on the head, since I really like flowy skirts and, like, just darker colors of tie-dye, that sort of thing. And I've been eyeing quite a few black and purple and gray tie-dyes. Trust me, it's gorgeous. I've also found red, black, and white. And it's so dark, and it's... Where was I going? Flowy stuff. Also the fact that I really do enjoy music such as Found. I enjoy the pagan rock, folk rock type things. You can never go wrong with listening to folk rock at any time. I mean, I listen to Found at least 3 times a day, waiting for the bus, sometimes on my break. I also listen to In Extremo, a lot of Renaissance type things, so I don't know if that's getting into the whole Renaissance-y thing, but it just gives a very positive vibe, and it gives off a very creative air, and that we all just sort of long for. Number 4, what do you believe to be the basis of the gothic subculture? I believe that we all have a desire to be against the grain, to be honest. And I feel that we are always longing to be creative. We're always looking to show the beauty in the darkness. Again, bringing back that. We also have a culture of being non-conforming to the normal, finding beauty in death. Granted, that doesn't mean that we want to be dead. We're not negative, even though we dress all black, that sort of thing. Personally, I think black is a beautiful color, but when the rest of the world thinks that it's a negative color, I just want to wear it more. And I also believe that you can be confident, and you have to be mentally prepared for people to judge you. To know, because you're going to look different from them. You also need to be, again, like I said, confident, and that you have to be ready for anything in this culture. If you're a goth, and if you love the subculture enough, you are going to rock it. It doesn't matter. You have to be ready to adapt, and honestly, I feel that you should be ready, because I really enjoy it as an art, and I really want a job in art. I really would love to become a YouTuber and just be able to dye my hair purple and, just do crazy things to myself. But I physically can't. So I'm adapting my style to be a little less, a little less extreme. There is no shame in wearing a dark makeup and a little less extremely. I mean, the black lips, the dark eyeshadow, and the dark eyeliner, that's fine. That's normal corporate, or what we call corp goth. That's another style. It's a style that my wife and I have to wear every day to work and to school. It's something that is very normal for us. Number 5, what do you dislike about being a goth? I hate that some people are just afraid of us, And it feels almost as if they don't want to get to know us. That we're automatically picked off as always negative or always sad or suicidal, when in general sense, I want to say that the Gothic people and those who partake in the Gothic subculture are the happiest people I've ever met. I also really don't like the fact that people use the term baby bat as a derogatory term. Honestly, I don't feel that it's a derogatory term, just a term that for someone who's getting a feel for the culture and a feel for the style, no matter what the age is. Like, mostly I agree that it should go for teenagers, those who are just trying to get a sense for it, that sort of thing. But I also enjoy calling my wife-to-be my little baby bat. And it does kind of bug me that there's some connotation to it. My thought is just be nice to each other, goddammit. Number 6. What do your parents think of it? My father was never really that accepting of it. But he doesn't really know either, seeing as I haven't seen him since I was 17. I haven't talked to my dad in years, and my mother doesn't really care anymore. She was a little afraid of it, and I remember when I was younger, we were always looking for costumes for like Halloween, and I loved my witchy outfits, loved the dark cloaks, everything, and I just wanted to wear it, and I love the darker stuff that you could get as a child during Halloween, and I remember she scolded me at one point with,
"You need to stop all that goth shit."
And it kind of hurt when I was younger. And same when I was a teenager, trying to be goth without the makeup. I was honestly told all the time, stop acting this way, by my younger brother. My mother, at least, sees that we're classy and that my friends, who she adores as goth, and she's just kind of less against it. She doesn't really like it because it's dark on me, but I love it. It makes me feel more confident. She still thinks that it's not her thing, if you will. And I respect her choice, and I will not push it on her. But she loves that I do makeup more often. Granted, it's not her choice of makeup, but she loves the fact that I'm finally wearing makeup. She always pushed me to do that, but I would never wear like silver eyeliner or anything to start doing it. It only took until I was about 24 to start doing the makeup outside of cosplay. Number 7. Eyebrows or no eyebrows? I like my eyebrows. I honestly like having them at my natural, and I find that drawn on eyebrows are only for certain people, if that makes any kind of sense. It feels that they're just meant for those who have a way more steady hand than I do, so... Number 8. Who is your favorite band? Or what is your favorite band? My favorite bands are dependent on the day, actually. You guys are probably going to laugh at me for this, but it's so cliche, and I know it's not goth, but I love Black Sabbath. I love Ozzy Osbourne. I love the original punk bands because that is what I grew up with. And my father was a huge metalhead as well. I love my folk rock, my pagan rock, if you will. Mostly it's German metal bands anymore, but a few of those that I still like would be Inomine, which is definitely one trance bands that I really like. Trance. Rammstein, In Extremo, Faun, Subway to Sally, Blackmore's Night, Emerald Rose. Number 9. What is your opinion of Marilyn Manson? Boy, got great lipstick. What the hell are you talking about? That and that eyeshadow. But no, honestly, I don't really care for his music except for like a few songs and a few renditions that he's done. I really like the song Valentine's Day. I also really enjoy the song Let Me Be Your Vampire. He's not my first choice to listen to, but I feel that he's a beautiful example of shock value that some of us actually strive for. And honestly, I feel that we can agree to disagree that he's just a beautiful man. Just remember that he's like the rest of us humans. That's all I have to say about Marilyn Manson. Number 10. What were your baby bat days like? Okay, I had to pull up a few photos of this, but I'm going to go ahead and do so now. My baby bat days were definitely acting the part, but never really knowing how to do the makeup quite right or doing the makeup at all. And I also didn't have very much clothing, so I had the act down, but I couldn't really do the look. So I gave up on that. And a lot of the time I had my family yelling at me for liking a subculture as a whole. I love music such as Found Subway to Sally as well as Skinny Puppy. But my little brother would often yell at me and get frustrated saying things like, "Oh my god, Vicky, you're not goth, stop!" And same with my mom. I have a few more photos and I'll go ahead and show now. Weird to see things like this from my baby bat days because it's not technically goth, but I feel like I'm, meh. But sometimes it's actually kind of embarrassing when I was honestly sincerely trying to be more punk and more goth than I really just was. It's actually kind of embarrassing. Thank you guys for watching this. I tag my fiance in this just because I can. Her channel will be in the description. Also, I will be leaving the questions down below. Also, if you like blogs, I've started a blog, and I have also started a art Facebook called Vikalynn Draws. We'll be linking those down below, as well as in the last 20 seconds of my video. Anyway, be safe, guys. Thanks, and remember, stay spoopy.